Good evening. Welcome to the Guthrie Public Schools Board of Education meeting for September 9th. Roll call, please.
Pearson.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Gerard.
Here.
Smedley.
Here.
Husky.
Here.
Flagg.
Here.
Schroeder.
Here.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we begin, let us pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Agenda item number 6, employee and student recognitions. Mr. Hancock.
Sorry about that. I thought I had it up. President Schroeder, members of the board, Dr. Simpson, want to say with our students this month, whenever they was sent out, it was so early we didn't have any nominations for students this month. I'll make sure that we catch up next month. Also, we hit the space and then just space. Our support nominee, as he was supposed to be presented with it, we found out he decided to take a vacation, so I'll make sure that that gets presented next month as well. Next one. But we do have one, Miss Sherry Stevenson at the high school. She was nominated by Miss Ambrose, talking about she started with us last year and all the reading that she even took a course to make sure that she could help our special needs students out, and Miss Ambrose really wanted to, she propped her really well in her letter. So those would be our employees of the month that we got to celebrate anyway, and like I said, I'll make sure that we get to recognize the others next month. So.
Thank you. Number 7, comments to the board by any citizens registered to speak.
We have none.
Comments to the board by any board members. Item 8, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Schroeder. First of all, we've had a very smooth start to the school year. A lot of things have happened since we last met as a board. Wanted to highlight that September is National School Attendance Month, and we want all families to be aware of the importance of school attendance and the learning process of their children. You'll see we have had several blurbs on social media about that as well. We're going to try to focus on that from a social media campaign perspective throughout the school year because it is obviously after COVID, it seems to be a national trend that we have had worse attendance in school, and so we know that our students will learn better if they are in the classroom, and there's no substitute for the time they spend with their teachers. Little update on enrollment. We currently have 3,518 students enrolled in the district, which is 12 more than last year and 63 more than we had at this time 2 years ago. We are expecting a few new enrollees that have been accepted on transfers into the district that are in process right now as well. A reminder that the OSSBA has a Region 6 meeting scheduled for Thursday, September 26th at the OSSBA Conference Center. And if you would like to attend, please let Samantha know, and she will make arrangements for you on for attendance there. And the last item that I've got, I want to thank all of the GPS voters for their support in the recent $45 million bond election. At your seat, you have two pieces of paper, and I want to call your attention to the first one that has the red and black on it. That is, you've seen this before, but it's got another line on it now, and it has an update from the election on August 27th. It's 72.2% pass rate rating. But on the back side of that, and I don't know how I didn't know this before, but I learned this for this election, okay? When you look at your precinct number on your voter card, if it has a 1 at the first of it, you're in County Commissioner District 1. 2 is District 2, and 3 is District 3 for the precinct that you vote in. So that's where you reside. And what I did, I tried to look at what this looked like from an individual precinct over time from 2014 to 2024. Well, that really wasn't possible because we have more precincts now because we have grown so much as a school district. So instead, I grouped them by district county commissioner numbers. So you get the region of the school district that we're talking about. And when you look at, and I tried to go back even further, but the data was not available online today. But when you look at what we are accomplishing, you can see that originally there was a very large gap between the approval rating of those that reside in District 3 and Districts 1 and 2. And you can see how that gap has shrunk, and the overall approval rating has grown tremendously over the last 3 elections. I think that's a sign that we are reaching people that find value in what we're doing that maybe didn't exist prior to that. And the next, I wanted to call your attention to the spreadsheet that has by precinct. And this one was very telling. We only had 2 precincts, and I believe there were 26, 27 precincts in here. We only had 2 precincts that were below 60% supermajority threshold that's required to pass a bond election. One of them was the Waterloo, let's see, where is it? 59.69. The Edmund Elks Lodge off of Waterloo Road. And that one is at 59.69%, so just below the threshold. And the other one was the Seward Road Baptist Church precinct at 50%, but there were only 24 votes cast, and it was 12 to 12. I think this highlights a lot of the hard work that has gone into sharing our cause and growing trust with our voters that didn't previously exist. I wanted you to have that information because, first of all, I wanted you to know how deeply we are analyzing it, but also the shift that is occurring and has stood the test of 9 years of time as well. And I think that speaks volumes to all the work that this group has done. And again, I want to thank the voters for their trust. And as I said after the election, we will continue to deliver and keep our promises to our community and be good stewards of their money. And that's my report.
Well said. The one thing you'll need to remember on your districts, 2020, the 10-year census, the commissioner districts, they're redistricted, so.
Yeah, and that's where the shift came, is from between the 2019 and this one. And you couldn't really compare it because it was really shifted, but they didn't shift the county commissioner districts as much as creating new precincts. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, well said. And again, I'll kind of piggyback on that, but thank you to the voters. I mean, you know, this is your school district, or 30,000 people, or whatever we got in our district, but it's your school district. It's not ours, the people work here, but it's yours. And I know I got a lot of questions, and you know, it's for my kids, and I said, well, guess what? My kids aren't gonna experience pretty much anything in this by the time it's built, and they're to the, you know, they're to the age where they'll be aged out, and I don't think either one of them are gonna wrestle. But they're gonna put on a lot of weight, but anyway, thank you to the voters. Item number 9, Crossland construction update. Lane.
Made a lot of good progress so far since last time I spoke. A lot of what we're doing is on the inside of the building. So we've gotten pretty well closed in. We have some temporary exterior doors, but we've done a lot of paint and a lot of wall tile. So a lot of the hallways are starting to really come together. Most of the drywall in the building is complete. All the windows are in. I don't know if that was in last time. We've made a lot of progress on grading the roads around on site, so that'll be a really big change. Here in the next couple weeks, if we can get asphalt down, it'll be a lot less dirty across the whole job site. A lot less dust blowing around, but we got retaining wall or retaining pond on the north end poured. You're seeing a lot of exterior finish continue, and this month brick should start as well, so that'll really change the look of the outside of the building. So we've made a lot of good progress. Here in a couple weeks, we're expecting to have permanent power in the building, so that'll be a big step, and we'll get some of those permanent exterior doors in, and it'll be just doing interior work after that, so we're moving along really well.
This is an item that we talked about a little bit in property committee, but just FYI for the entire board. After the election, Lane and I had we had a meeting. Cody was there, and the whole construction group, to talk about transitioning into the next phase at Cotterell with the addition of the 4 classrooms that we now have funded, and also the addition at Charter Oak, and where how that could progress as well. So know that conversations have already been are already occurring for that. And I did want to mention, I should have done this in my superintendent's report, but late this afternoon when I got a confirmation date, we have arranged a meeting with the city of Guthrie Public Schools, and ODOT to discuss the East Side Elementary School location with regard to traffic. So I wanted the community and everyone to know that we are trying to be proactive and are planning on that as well, because the time to get on ODOT's schedule is
Yesterday.
soonest rather than any time close to when you want to really open. And the gentleman from ODOT that covers this region, the engineer, he's already aware that we had plans to build a school there. That was something that I shared with him in a meeting maybe a year and a half ago. But now it's a real thing, and so now we're having those discussions as well, and we're going to go ahead and get started on that. So because I know that was a discussion that seemed to look. I drive that intersection almost every day, and I know what that intersection's like without an elementary school there. So, but I also, strangely enough, I've been around this community long enough to remember when we didn't have stoplights at the interstate. So it hasn't been that long ago. So, but those discussions are going on. Lane and I and Cody are working on contingencies to get things moving seamlessly at Cotterell, and also to get fired up at Charter Oak.
Any questions for Lane? Leslie, you have any questions? No? You're good? Okay. Thank you, Lane, for being here.
Thanks, Lane. We appreciate you.
Item number 10, presentation of Guthrie Public Schools Annual 7th through 12th grades dropout report and college remediation report for 2022-2023 by Mr. John Hancock, Executive Director of Personnel and Secondary Education. John.
Okay, thank you. This is a report, again, it's 2 years behind because it takes them that long to find the data to determine if your kids went to other schools, other states, or what they may have done. So in 22-23, we had 1,517 students, in the district. Total not what they would consider not re-entered in the secondary was 65. With the state dropout report was 4.2%. We were just basically, you could say 1 to 2 students shy of the state report with 4.28% of dropouts. And remember, dropouts may not be that they completely dropped out. They may have moved to another state and we didn't have paperwork for that, or they may have went to a private school, or may have gotten their GED or whatever. But
John, you might clarify when you say we had 1,517 students in the district.
I mean, in secondary, I'm sorry. In the secondary, I apologize. In the secondary, junior high and high school. I apologize.
We've got a lot more
A
state.
lot more in that. Yes. So again, dropout covers our junior high and our high school numbers, so 7 through 12. Next, talking about our 22-23 cohort graduation. Again, whenever our students become freshmen, they are considered in that cohort. So in our graduating class of 2022-2023, they look at, you end up with a 4th, 5th, and a 6th-year cohort. Total cohort, whenever they started, was 248 for that class. 203 of them actually graduated from Guthrie. 7 others exited to other schools that we definitely had numbers of. A couple of them aged out, and again, if you over 21, then you age out, and they consider it as a dropout as well. But 6 of them finished without enough credits to graduate, and which gave us basically our dropout of 30 students at that time. And then last, our 2022-2023 college remediation. Again, this is behind because they've got to track them for the full school year the next year. I don't know if you remember, but last year, whenever we talked about these numbers, we only had 44 students that they had counted. Me doing the research, I found out that we have more students that go to the colleges and universities that they count, but they do not consider those who have been in concurrent as first-time students. So that's kind of where this number comes from. So if they're first-time students going in right after their senior year, we had 74 of those. 2.7% had to be remediated in English, had to take the intermediate courses with the state average of 4.4. Math, 16.2%. And I'll be honest, as I kind of look at it, a lot of our students take math their first 3 years in high school, and then their senior year, if they don't have to take it, they're not going to take it. And then if they decide to go to college, you don't use, you lose. So that's kind of what I attribute that to. And then reading was at 2.7%, where the state average is at 6%.
You know, the thing, and you've heard me say this before, that these numbers, in my opinion, are very significant because on the remediation, because it measures the students that are seeking higher education and how much they have to be caught up when they get to that next level. But the dirty little secret of all this is the students that are entered with concurrent enrollment, we know are not going to need to be remediated because they've already passed this before they ever get to college. And not being able to count them, especially with the growth of concurrent enrollment, with the way it's funded now, really, it kind of makes you want to put an asterisk behind these numbers because of the fact that we've got a lot of kids that we know didn't need remediation that didn't get counted in that. And so the real numbers are less than that. But when you look at where we are compared to the state with English and reading, those numbers are as close to apples and math as well as you can get on comparing the state and where we are, and the fact that we are lower in those two areas. And then I share Mr. Hancock's concerns about the math. I think that's a real issue that we have. I also think that the students that participate in concurrent enrollment there are probably the ones that are taking the higher level math in their senior year versus slipping away from math altogether. So,
And just a reminder, in 2029, they start with the 4x4 where you'll have to take math anyway. So then that'll give us more true numbers at that time.
assuming we have enough math teachers in the state to provide for our, sorry.
I'm the optimistic guy, so that brings my report to a close. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I got a motion and a second on the consent agenda. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Huskey,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Business agenda, item 12A, recommendation, consideration, and action upon gifted and talented committee.
This is on page 107 of your packet. We are required to ratify this committee on an annual basis, and we recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Gifted and Talented Committee for 2024-25. Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12B, recommendation, consideration, and action upon professional development committee for 2024-2025.
This is also an item that is required to be annually ratified, and both of these we wait until we start the school year so that we can get commitments from parents and teachers that are on contract, and this is on page 108. We recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Professional Development Committee for 2024-2025.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12C, recommendation, consideration, and action upon choosing the ACT as the district's high school academic assessment for the 2024-2025 school year.
We're required by law to bring this to the board on an annual basis, and we have consistently been in favor of using the ACT for this measure and would recommend approval of that again this year.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the ACT as the district's high school academic assessment for the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12D, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve the transcription of math and science credit options taught at Meridian Technology Center.
Page 111 of your packet has this MOU with Meridian Technology Center, and this is a requirement that we have so that we will, students that take the math or science courses that Meridian Technology offers, we can go ahead and transcript this, but it requires board's approval on an annual basis. We recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the transcription of math and science credit options taught at Meridian Technology Center.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Clag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12E, recommendation, consideration, action upon Guthrie Junior High Health Fair for 7th grade students, October 11th, 2024.
This is an item that we bring to you on an annual basis for your approval. The composition of this is administered by the Logan County Health Department. Sergeant Gibbs presents some information, and John Talley has been a longtime presenter in this as well, and we recommend your approval.
Yes.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Guthrie Junior High Health Fair for 7th grade students, October 11, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12F, recommendation, consideration, and action upon 2024-2025 estimate of needs as prepared by Putman and Company, PLLC, and 2024-2025 financial statement and the authority to publish the same.
We have pages 113 through 169 is the estimate of needs. It's actually not by Putnam and Company any longer, but, so we should have changed that on the agenda. I didn't catch that, but S&B CPA and Associates, PLLC, and Dr. Chappell, is there anything you need to mention or say to the board about this before they offer you any questions?
No, I think we're right on target. We were down $1 million going into this year, and that's simply because of our ESSA funds we spent last year. So there's a 3% deficit as far as general fund goes, but all else pretty good.
How much in ESSER funds are remaining?
$447,000.
Any questions?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the 2024-2025 estimate of needs as prepared by S&B CPA and Associates and 2024-2025 financial statement and the authority to publish the same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12G, recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement between City of Guthrie and Guthrie Public Schools for information technology services.
Okay, this is a interlocal agreement that you'll notice is retroactive to July 1st. The city, we're going to continue this relationship. It's not going to last through the entire school year because they have received a grant that will pay for their IT services, but at least for a couple more months, we're going to keep this going, so we needed to re-ratify this interlocal agreement. We would recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agreement between the City of Guthrie and Guthrie Public Schools for information technology services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12H, recommendation, consideration, and action upon professional service agreement with Susan Murray to provide special education support services for 2024-2025.
Susan is a former teacher of ours that has agreed to, in retirement, continue to monitor our 504 cases with through our special education department. Part of the necessity of this is because we have more numbers than we have staff to accomplish this, and we appreciate Susan's willingness to do this and would recommend this approval of this agreement.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the professional service agreement with Susan Murray to provide special education support services for 2024-2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12I, recommendation, consideration, action upon antenna license agreement between Guthrie Public Schools and Springs Christian Radio.
Mr. President, I would recommend at this time that we pull this agreement. I have not gotten approval and a signed agreement from this organization yet, and so we will bring this back on the agenda potentially next month if we get that. No need to table, because if that has fallen through, then we don't have to bring it back on the agenda.
Okay. No action on 12I. 12J, recommendation, consideration, and action upon contract with the Stacy Group for architectural services for 2024-2025.
We need to ratify on an annual basis our agreement with our architect, and I would recommend that we renew the agreement with the Stacy Group. They have been a very good partner for us for, I guess it's 11 years now, and we enjoy working with them and think they're a valued member of our design and building team.
They're a professional service, so you can just
Yes.
renew that, yeah.
Yes. The original relationship was formed through an RFP, and we had a committee, and I can't remember who all served on that committee, but this has been too long ago. But it's one of those that if the board is satisfied with their work, there's no requirement to revisit that.
Mr. President, make a motion to renew the contract with the Stacy Group for architectural services for 2024-2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12K, recommendation, consideration, action to ratify the agreement with Synergistic LLC for energy management assessment.
This is an annual ratification of the agreement that I believe, how many more years we have with this?
Was it 5 originally?
I think it was 5 years
Agreement is the
originally.
It's
second.
probably year
Yeah.
3?
So
2?
I think we're in year 3.
Three?
Starts
three?
I think we're
Yeah,
starting
I
year
think it's
3.
three.
Yeah.
7.
So, and we, things have gone well with this so far, and see no reason to depart from the work that we're doing there. So I would recommend approval.
They'll come present once a year like
Yeah,
usual.
Yeah, we'll get them sometime in the spring to do that.
Mr. President, I move we ratify the agreement with Synergistic LLC for energy management assessment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 12L, recommendation, consideration, action on district policy F5 transfers, Exhibit A.
This is our quarterly requirement that the board ratify the transfer capacities that we have established through policy F5 Exhibit A, which is page 199 of your board packet. And we recommend that we re-ratify that as written.
Mr. President, I move that we approve District Policy F5, transfers Exhibit A.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 13, proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA request, resignation, separation from employment, and transfer of position request, all as set out on the personnel reports, extra duty assignments as listed for 2024-2025, and periodic annual evaluation and terms of employment of Dr. Michael Simpson, Superintendent of Schools, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statutes, Section 307B, 1 and 7. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
All right, item 13B, acknowledge the board's return to open session. Item C, only items in agenda number 13 were discussed in executive session and no votes were taken. This shall constitute the executive session minutes. Item 14, vote on action as set out on the personnel reports.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the personnel reports.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 15, action upon recommendation of extra duty assignments as listed for 2024-2025.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the extra duty assignments as listed for 2024-2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Item 16, recommendation, consideration, action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of the agenda.
We have none.
Item 17, discussion and possible action on new business not known about or could have not been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have none.
Item 18, adjournment.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Smedley,
Yes.
Husky,
Yes.
Flag,
Yes.
Schroeder,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.